All right, guys. Our next guest is an MMA veteran who has fought across Elite XC, Bellator, and the UFC. He is known as the Silverback and has been referred to as the Kimbo Killer. Seth Petruzelli, welcome to Submission Radio. How are you?
Hey, what's up, guys? I'm doing very well. How are you?
Really good, really good. It's a pleasure to have you on the show. Now, we want to get an update, Seth. We haven't seen too much from you since your retirement from MMA in June of 2013. Tell us, what has the Silverback been up to?
Man, it's been that long? It doesn't feel like it's been that long. It's crazy. I'm still training, to be honest with you. All my training partners, everyone at my gym, say that they think I'm in the best shape I've ever been in, even when I was fighting. So I'm still busting my butt. I'm still training. I don't know what else to do. So I'm still in there twice a day doing what I would have done if I, would have fights coming up. So I guess it's just in me to keep training.
Yeah, well, we actually were stalking your Instagram, like a couple of people doing research, and we looked at...
Uh-oh.
Yeah, no, it's good things. We looked at it, and you look like you're in phenomenal shape. We started thinking, like, Seth Petruzelli, like, are you doing personal training? Are you bodybuilding or something? What's going on? Why are you in such fantastic shape, and what do you attribute that to?
Yeah, definitely my training, but I since I retired, I kind of changed my eating habits. When I walked, usually I walked around about 2:30 or so, and then cut to 2:05. But I was eating, healthy, but I was still eating my breads and grains and whole grains and wheat and oatmeal. And since I retired, I knew I wasn't going to be cutting for fights, and I kind of wanted to walk a little lighter and be a little more healthier. So I cut all the grains, cereals, rice, pasta, everything like that from my diet, and went pretty much strict paleo for the most part. And I'm walking around at like 15 pounds lighter, so I walk at like 208 or so.
Wow.
And I guess that's for my diet that I changed. That's helping.
Wow, no more Captain Crunch for the Silverback. Now, you had a long 13-year career, and, we're wondering, after such a long career and you've achieved so many great things, and we know you had a couple of tough losses right there near the end, why did you decide to retire from MMA?
I guess it was a collection of things. T1, I've never been knocked out in my entire fight career, and that's why with King Mo kind of, I don't know if it not woke me up, but it like just made me realize that I got other great things going as far as in my two gyms and my commentating that I'm making very very good money at, and real estate that I'm doing too. And I kind of want to be coherent when I'm older. I don't want to be slurring my words, and so more health, I guess you could say, than anything. I retired. Did I accomplish everything that I wanted to accomplish? No. Do I have any regrets about everything that I did? No, not at all. I wouldn't take back anything. Even my losses, everything was a learning experience and a memory that no one will ever take from me. But I guess what I could say, I didn't have the drive anymore. I didn't have the love for the sport anymore, and for health. I just wanted to be coherent when I was older. I didn't want to didn't want to be punch drunk. When I'm older, that kind of scares me. That stuff scares me a lot.
Yeah, for sure. And I think given that, given your lack of KO losses, I think that's really good. And obviously it's very respectable when you see guys like yourself, you walk away from the sport and you've got things like, your gyms and real estate and things like that. Looking back on your career, you fought for companies such as King of the Cage, BAMMA, the first ever WEC, Bellator, the UFC, and of course you're on the Ultimate Fighter. What do you make of such a big journey? You know what I mean? I was going to ask you, do you have any regrets? You obviously don't have any, but, what do you think about such a big journey like that?
Yeah, actually, you just haven't named them like that. I never really listed them all together like that and named them. That's kind of cool to hear that. I didn't realize, I forgot it was the first WEC, and yeah, that's when I fought Dan McGee, and that fight when Dan Turner was the main event for that fight back in the day. So it's great to see how the sport evolved from when I first started back in 2000 or 99, 2000 to where it is today, just to see the transition of all the shows, how they're run, the commissions, the people that come in and out of the sport. So it was just it's like a storybook that unfolded for those past 13, 14 years, and it was an amazing journey. I loved it. Loved every bit of it.
Absolutely. You should get Submission Radio to write your autobiography for you, Seth. We know everything about you now. You were in the second season of The Ultimate Fighter. There's been over 20 seasons of the show now, so people pretty much know what to expect. But back then, it was still something very new. What was the experience like for you, and what did you expect going into a show like that?
Oh, man, it was nerve-wracking. Right after the show, all of us, when we're talking about 6 or 7 of us hung out, and we're like, would we do it again? Would we do this again? We're like, hell no, we wouldn't do that again. There's no way, because 7 weeks locked in a house, no internet, TV, magazines, no contact with the outside world. It was, it was hell. But looking back at it now, I would do it again in a second. I mean, it was such a great experience. Like meeting all those people, I'm still in contact with a lot of them. Experiences that you can never take away, and all the learning that happened there with the sport. And it was great to see how it evolved from when I first started back in season 2 to where it is today. Just the difference, how smooth it runs now and how crazy it was back then.
Now, I want to talk about the big news with you, Seth. Obviously, the big news is Kimbo Slice is back in MMA and he's signed to Bellator, and he's called you and Tito out. Tito doesn't seem interested, but you, through an ice cream-related response on Instagram, seem to have accepted the fight. Something about Kimbo looking good. Are you interested in this
Kimbo
fight?
looking good.
Yeah, exactly. The MMA websites were deciphering. They had crack teams like, what does this all mean? We're wondering, are you interested in the fight, and is this the one that will bring you out of retirement?
Yeah, I mean, the tweet before that, I said, I heard that he called me out, and I said, look, if you want to call me out, I'm all for it. It's worth coming out of retirement to do it one more time. So yeah, 100%. I tweeted that, I hashtag, with Bellator, and hopefully somebody saw that. And I actually emailed one of the guys from Bellator a couple of days ago saying, look, it's not a joke. If you guys need a fight, I'm there. I'll do it in a second. And to be honest with you, I think I've heard that over 100 people have contacted Bellator trying to get that fight. And he's been bombarded with people trying to take Kimbo as his first fight. So,
wow.
So I think it'll happen. Who knows? I mean, they might just want to give him a safe little, somebody to step up on to get a first win in Bellator. I mean, I don't know if they'd want to risk putting him with somebody that could actually do something to him the first fight.
Yeah.
But I'd be more than happy to fight him again.
It's interesting, Seth, because, Kimbo spoke about how it's a fight that he thinks about. What do you think about him calling you out for his return fight? And, do you think it's a dangerous move? You just mentioned, obviously, you knocked him out back in 2009. Do you think it's a dangerous move back on his part?
No, I mean, I guess if I was him, I would do the same thing. I mean, he's never had any other KO loss ever. So, I mean, why not call somebody out that he wants to avenge that loss to, I guess. I mean, it's a little disrespectful, I guess, because it makes me feel like, it was a fluke and it meant nothing, which of course people say. But, I mean, I think my actions speak, my fights speak for themselves. I mean, that's what I do. I love throwing hands and I love knocking people out. So if that's who he wants and that's what he wants to challenge himself with, then I'd be more than happy to oblige.
Well, let's go back to that moment. When he knocked Kimbo out in, I think it was about 14 seconds in Elite XC, sent a huge shockwave through MMA. So much happened from that. What was it like when you got in the back? Did you receive any backlash from the company, or what was it like? What was the first reactions when you went backstage?
Well, from him or his, I said this before, his posse and his gang and his crew, or can I cuss on the station?
You can say whatever you want, absolutely.
Okay, they're dickheads, man. They were threatening my wife at the time. They were threatening my brother, like death threats, spitting at him. So they were just disgusting scumbags. But Kimbo himself was cool in the back room. He said, "Yo, dog, you gave me my first black eye. I ain't gonna take that away from you. Congratulations." Those were pretty much his exact words. And then he gave me a hug. So I mean, he was cool. When we went back to the hotel after the night of partying, I saw the owners and everybody sitting at the bar just getting hammered. So I don't know if they were drinking in despair, which I'm pretty sure that that's what they were doing.
Yeah.
They're depressed and like, oh God, what did we just do? So
yeah.
That's pretty much all I got from them. And I went up to them like, look, guys, I'm like, it was an honor to fight for you, and I just want to let you know, because at the time I didn't know that they were just going to go on and be bankrupt. But I was like, look, I'll carry the torch and I'll represent your company well and blah blah blah. And they're like, okay, good. And then 2 days later, that's it.
Oh, no.
Wow.
Seth, I guess the thing is, with Kimbo's streak in MMA, it was always surrounded with questions about fixing. And I mean, the big question is, did you get any impression or instruction from the Elite XC organizers going into the fight that they'd like you to take some kind of dive for Kimbo before the fight?
No, honestly, the only thing that was said to me was, look, we're going to offer you a knockout bonus. We want this fight to be exciting. How's a knockout bonus sound? I'm like, all right, yeah, I'll take a knockout bonus. That's fine. So, no, they didn't come right out and say anything like that. But, I mean, when you offer somebody a knockout bonus, I mean, I'm going to definitely try to take it and stand up and fight for sure.
And I mean, obviously, after the fight, you were happy to carry the company and be the guy. You had no idea of the ramifications that that knockout would happen, did you?
No, obviously not. No, I mean, and to be honest with you, I've heard tons of rumors from reputable sources that they were millions in debt before I even landed that punch. So, I mean, did I have something to do with it? Of course, I did, but I mean, it's their own, mishandling of funds that sunk the company. That had nothing to do with me.
Yeah, let's talk about this potential matchup that might happen. So, you just mentioned that you're interested in potentially coming out of retirement and fighting Kimbo. The first fight was quite short and brief. Kimbo's been out of MMA himself for quite a long time now. How would you see a rematch go between you two in Bellator? How would you see that match play out?
To be honest with you, just so there's no, misclarifications this time when I fight him. I mean, I'd love to stand up and bang with him, but I mean, how great would it be to get my first KO victory against him the first time and then get a submission victory against him the second time? That way I can just be all around better than him, which I know I can submit him, on the ground for sure. So, I mean, I would love to just to stand up with him, tire him out first round, and then take him down and just try to look for a submission in the second round. So my ultimate goal would be to submit him.
Yeah, absolutely. You've had the KO, the submission. That's 2 for 2. Kimbo, like Dennis was saying, he hasn't fought in the sport of MMA for 5 years, and your last fight was less than 2 years ago, so you'd seem like the fresher guy. How would you feel about getting back in the cage, physically? Would there be any issues with preparing? I mean, you sound like you're in good shape.
Yeah, I'm in fine shape. I mean, the only issue would be ring rust, but I mean, I'm training all my guys at the gym now for the past, since I retired. So I've had amateurs, pros coming out of my gym, and I'm training them for their fights. So it's the only weird thing would be in front of the crowd again. But I mean, I've been doing grappling tournaments and stuff like that in front of crowds now for the past 2 years anyway. So I don't think there'll be any problem with it at all. My cardio is phenomenal. My skill is still exactly the same. And I mean, I feel great. Honestly, the only issue would be the weight, because right now I'm walking at like 206, 207, and I'm sure he's about 230, 240. So that would be the only issue. But last time I fought him, I was 205, and he was 230 as well. So it's whatever.
Now, Seth, obviously you spoke about why you decided to retire, and assuming that this fight does get made in Bellator, and I mean, this is, we're just talking about possibilities here. Obviously, Bellator is a different company to what it was when you fought in 2013 with Scott Coker behind it. Would there be any opportunity for you, or would you be interested at all if you did get another win over Kimbo, to stick around and maybe get some kind of fight deal done for a couple more fights?
Nah, I think I would knock him out, stand in the middle of the cage, and then drop the. Well, if it was a trophy or something cool, I could just drop and be like, you know what, I'm out, peace out.
Drop the mic, drop the post mic,
drop the mic and be like, peace out, I'm out again, guys. Honestly, I've always itched. I mean, it's always there. The drive to compete, the drive to be in front of a crowd and to show my skills that have been with me since I retired, and it's hard to not do that. It's real hard not to do that. I mean, to take fights and just to go do it. So who knows? I mean, if this fight ever does potentially happen, who knows how I'd feel at that time. I mean, I would definitely be open to the option to fight again, but you never know.
I think that's almost a shame, because you sound like, you're working on your grappling a lot, and we could see an even more dangerous Seth Petruzelli, on the ground. If the UFC called you, tomorrow or after this, hypothetical Kimbo fight and was like, Seth, we want you back, what would your answer be?
I would say, can you give me a day to think about it, guys? I don't know, man. That's a heavy question. One, it would be what weight? Because right now I'm walking at 206, 207. So would I cut to 85? I mean, I haven't been under 200 pounds since I was 13 years old. So that's a question I'd have to wonder too. Is what weight would they want me at?
Yeah. Now I've been wanting to ask you something for a while. I want to talk about some of these habits that you've got, Seth. A few years ago we saw you dressed up as Kimbo Slice for Halloween. I want to know, what was the motivation behind it, and did you hear anything from Kimbo about that dress up?
No. The only thing that happened to me that night was, what, I don't even know why I did it. I just thought it would be funny because it was only like 2 or 3 weeks after the fight, and I really didn't think dressing up in blackface was that racist, but apparently it was, which I apologize for. But the only thing that happened was we went downtown Orlando, and I went out, and it was just as I knocked Kimbo out, so nobody knew it was me. So everyone was just talking trash to me the whole night, just like, you suck, Kimbo, what are you doing? You suck. I'm like, oh, man, this is horrible. So I literally an hour of getting berated as Kimbo on Halloween. So I walked home, and it was about a mile walk home to my house. So as I'm walking home, I hear, Kimbo, you suck. And I look up, and there's a damn milkshake flying out of the window, hits me, explodes all over me, and the guy in the car drives off. I'm like, you gotta be shitting me, dude. Really?
Oh
So,
my God.
yeah, I got a milkshake thrown at me from a car as Kimbo, saying that I suck, walking home at night. So it wasn't worth it at all. And I never heard anything from Kimbo about it either.
That's probably why Kimbo's always so serious. He has a rough run at life. People probably do that to him.
Yeah.
Now,
Imagine if people just walk around and throw crap at Kimbo all day. That would suck.
yeah,
Oh,
if Kimbo goes, you should walk a mile in my shoes. You should say, yeah, I haven't. I've gotten a milkshake thrown at my head. Now, you also dressed up. You also dressed up as Blanca from Street Fighter this past Halloween, and have in the past, she has had amazing dress ups like Thundercats and a truly amazing Venom from Spider-Man. You know, what is it about Halloween that makes you go all out? And which dress up was your favorite?
Ooh, man. See this stuff. 2 years ago was Panther, or 2 years ago was Venom. 3 years ago was Blanca. I like Panther a lot, to be honest with you. But then this last one, I don't know if you guys saw this last one, was a Creature from the Black Lagoon. Did you guys see that one?
We didn't see it, no. We'll have to throw that one up.
That was a real good one. The Creature from the Black Lagoon was good. So my girlfriend dressed up as like the damsel in distress. So it was like a classic monster type theme. But I really like Venom. I'm into comics and stuff like that. So the Venom was pretty cool. I like Venom a lot.
Yeah, that one was awesome. For those who haven't seen it, we'll throw it up. But, you know, obviously Venom's massive mouth was all over your neck. It looked crazy. Now, we want to talk about your gym, you know, obviously Jungle MMA and Fitness. What was the inspiration behind opening that up? And tell us a little bit about the facility.
I mean, right after I was on season 2 of The Ultimate Fighter, I opened up Knockout Fitness. It was my first gym. I had that for a couple of years. And then was affiliated with American Top Team, which kind of went south. Not a fan of them right now. Well, not now. Now I'm fine, but back then it was a big issue. And opened up the Jungle MMA Fitness right after the Kimbo fight, just because I knew, you know, I had all this money. I can't just blow it like most idiots do. So I wanted to reinvest it, put all that money into opening the gym, getting everything set with that. So it was pretty much just an investment idea. I mean, I knew that I had a lot of great trainers and friends and fighters around me. Tom Waller, Mike Lee, who opened the gym with me. So I knew we could have a great facility in Orlando. And right now, 6 or 7 years later, it's amazing. We have over 400 members, 2 locations. So it's been great.
Yeah, absolutely. It looks like a great facility. Everyone needs to check it out when they travel down there. Now, Seth, we're going to do a fun little thing with you. We call it the Submission Radio Tap Out Round. It's a bunch of fun questions. You answer with the first thing that comes to mind, sort of like word association. Are you ready?
Ooh, yeah.
Okay, here we go. You fought in so many companies. Which one has been your favorite one to fight for?
I don't want to piss people off. That's the first thing that comes to mind. In PC. UFC, obviously, they're amazing, but when I was with Bellator, they treated me the best, to be honest with you.
Oh. Name one of your fights that fans have not seen and need to YouTube right now.
They've probably seen the Bob Sapp, but Dan Severn was my personal favorite just because it was such a big accomplishment. It was the first big name that I've ever beaten. So, Proclivity Cage, Dan Severn back in the day, I think 2004, 2005.
YouTube it now, guys. Now, apart from running your gym, you know, what's a secret hobby that Seth has that fans may not know about?
Well, it wouldn't be a secret then, would it?
Well, it's not going to be after you tell us.
Yeah, that's true. Man, I love animals going to the dog. I love my dogs. I take my dogs to dog park like all the time. I'm a big advocate of like adopting for animals instead of buying from breeders and stuff like that. So I give donations to the local animal shelters all the time. So that's kind of like a passion of mine that I have. If I wasn't fighting, I'd be getting a lot more involved with that.
I feel like there's going to be memes of you now, Seth, like nice guy Seth memes.
That's the PETA man.
Yeah. Best story from being on the Ultimate Fighter 2 that we didn't see on TV.
Oh man, guys, you have no idea. There were so many good ones. One good one in particular, Rashad. Everyone knows Rashad Evans, obviously. There was a cone, like, you know, one of the hazard cones that are out in the street, the orange cones.
Yeah.
I jumped out of a van. They took us and transported us in vans. So I jumped out of a van, grabbed one of them, got yelled at, of course, but hit it in the back. Didn't get rid of it. They told me to get rid of it, but I didn't. Went into the house. I wrapped it in paper towels and draped like a kind of a hood over it and put 2 holes in it, so it looked like a KKK hat.
Oh wow!
And I put it in Rashad's bed. So we'd go in there and see it.
I wonder why that wasn't on TV.
Good.
What was Rashad's reaction?
He was like, "Oh hell no, man! Really, guys?" He laughed it off. He was funny. Like we all got close. All the heavyweights, especially, got super close really fast. So we all joked with each other, messed around and stuff like that.
Classic Rashad reaction. Now, you're a third-degree black belt, and I'm going to butcher this, and I'm really sorry about this, Seth, but it's called Shito-Ryu Karate. What is...
Shito-Do.
Okay, that's it. I'm not going to even try and repeat it because I can barely speak English. What is this? What is this type of karate? I've never heard of it before.
It's one of the 4 main styles of karate. There's Shotokan, Ishinryu, Shito-Do, Wado-Ryu. It's almost just like Machido's style of karate, Shotokan. It's pretty much the exact same style, just kind of branched off a little different lineage and whatnot. So, but yeah, it's a strong style. It's a traditional, obviously, style of karate. Started when I was 6 years old, and to this day, I still go in the back room of my gym when no one's looking and practice my kata sometimes. That I know everyone would laugh at me.
Is that what you do in the back room of the gym? We've been getting emails about
it. the number one.
But the trick is doing it naked and letting Ken don't want to do it. So.
Hey man, it wouldn't be a kata if you weren't naked. Now, Seth, what are your thoughts on Ken Shamrock having a bare knuckle fight?
I couldn't believe that he was going to do that, man. That's kind of crazy. Now, I heard Ken Shamrock called him out, too, which is kind of nuts. And on a side note, there might be something working with me and Ken, because I was supposed to fight Ken on 3 different occasions, and the fights fell through every time. 2 of the organizations, didn't happen at all. None of the fights happened, and one time he got hurt or something like that. So I'd be interested to see if I've heard through the grapevine that there's some people looking at getting me and Ken to fight as well. So I said I would come out of retirement for Ken Shamrock as well, because we were supposed to fight so many damn times.
Yeah, you guys have a funny relationship as well, because I believe you replaced Ken when you fought Kimbo, didn't you?
Yep. Yeah.
And then you guys are supposed to fight. This is like a rivalry, and you guys have been here and there. I would love the fight. So you're saying that you'd be interested in coming out of retirement to fight Ken?
Yeah, for sure. Just because it was supposed to happen so many times and it never did, and it was such a letdown because he was obviously such a big name, and I had respect for him growing up, seeing him when I was a little kid, on the first UFC. So it's great to fight legends like that,
Yeah, it's awesome, and this isn't in the tap out round, but how do you foresee a fight between you two going?
His face would be pretty. I see his face looking like an elephant again, like when he fought. When was that? Was it a Tito fight that he looked really bad? I would beat him up pretty bad.
Oh wow! Now we're wondering, what was it like stepping in the ring with Bob Sapp, especially back in 2004?
Oh man, it was that was a crazy time in Japan, man. It was I met him. He was super nice, super quiet guy. He shook my hand, and he had the lightest handshake ever. Was real soft spoken. But then got in the ring, and he was just this giant beast. He was 6'7", 370 when I fought him.
Wow.
Oh my God.
Just a monster. So, but the fight obviously went how it happened. I mean, I felt real confident going in against him. I didn't care how big he was. I mean, I knew I had the speed, and I knew I was strong enough to knock him out. I don't know if you guys know what happened. You saw it, I'm sure, but it was a sting. I thought I'd pull my bicep. That's why I started screaming at my arm. But it was just a sting. I threw my right so far past his head, and I turned my neck the opposite direction that it literally felt like I had no arm. It was the craziest feeling ever. It was just a sting. And
wow.
Doctor called the fight after that, obviously. So, but it was still an amazing experience. And Japan, I've always wanted to fight in Japan, and I'd love to go back there again. I've been there four times or so for fights. So, it's a great place. And Bob Sapp is a cool guy too.
Yeah, Bob's
weird, but a cool guy.
Yeah, Bob's an amazing guy. He was on our show once, and he's such a great promoter. Now, serious question, Seth. You've been getting dressed up in all these costumes, so the fans want to know, what are you? Are you a DC or are you a Marvel guy? Which one are you?
Definitely Marvel. They have more.
No.
There's way more. Sorry.
What are you doing to me and Casper here?
as far as DC, I mean, I love Superman. Superman, I love. I mean, I love the story behind them, everything like that. I always said I want to name my first son Kal-El because I love that name. But that's like the only person from DC that I really can get into, I guess you could say. But Marvel, there's just so many.
Before you upset Dennis anymore, are you forgetting? Are you forgetting Batman by any chance?
I like Batman, but I don't want to piss somebody off now. I feel bad. I just feel like he's just a rich guy. He's just a regular rich guy. I don't know. I don't know. I can't get into. I like Batman, but I'm not into him. He just doesn't do it for me, I guess you can say. Sorry.
Man, Batman's somewhere right now listening, turning off the program as we speak. Yeah, there's going to be headlines all over bloody elbow right now. It'll be like, Seth hates Batman. Potential fight to be set up soon.
He's not questioning where I'm at. He's come get me, I guess.
Yeah, we had John Kavanagh on, I think, a couple of weeks ago, and he was also saying how he was a Marvel guy. He prefers Spider-Man, and he was saying how, well, Batman doesn't do any MMA. But there is one thing. I will say though that, and I didn't say this to John, so I'm going to say this to you now, Seth. In one of the movies, it was The Dark Knight Returns, I think Part 1. Batman's beating on a guy, and he actually puts him in arm bars and knee bars. So there you go. Ever since then, we've loved Batman even more.
I need to rewatch that. If he does that, I'll have a little bit more respect for him since he trained a little MMA. But as far as the ninjutsu, it's ninja that he trained. I mean, pretty much, right? I mean, the dark, whatever that the shadow arts,
the League of Shadows. Yeah.
The League of, I mean, essentially that's ninjutsu. So I mean, I don't know, just doesn't do it.
It's what we do, Seth. We spread the good word of Batman and get people to respect him. Now, finally, let's assume this fight with Kimbo does happen. What's the official prediction? How are you beating Kimbo how are you beating Kimbo in the rematch?
I'm always looking for the knockout. Of course, I will 100% stand and bang with him. And if worst comes to worst, but I don't think it will. I always have my jiu-jitsu. I'd love to take him down, and like I said, I'd love to get a submission victory on him in the second round.
Well, there you guys go. And you can check out Seth on Twitter at SilverbackSeth. And if you're visiting Orlando or Lake Mary, check out Jungle MMA and Fitness. You can find out all the details at www.jungleorlando.com. Seth, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on the program. I think it's safe to say we're excited to see who you fight, Ken Shamrock or Kimbo Slice. Needless to say, it's going to be an exciting year in MMA, and we're excited that you may be a part of it in 2015.
Cool. I really appreciate it, guys. This is my first interview since coming back into the MMA not spotlight, but back into the game and stuff like that. So I appreciate you guys having me on.
Oh, it's been our pleasure. And of course, guys, don't forget to check out Seth's Instagram, Silverback Seth for real. Tons of funny stuff, funny pictures, and around Halloween, that's the place to be. So it was our pleasure.
Or my birthday.
Or Seth's birthday. Yeah.
There's good spankings on my birthday.
Don't judge me. We love a good spanking.